The Whispering Shadows. The wind howled through the barren trees, creating an eerie symphony of creaks and groans that echoed through the desolate woods. On a cold, moonless night, a chilling darkness had settled over the isolated cabin in the heart of the forest. Inside, Sarah, a young woman with a haunting past, huddled beneath her blankets trying to stave off the paralyzing fear that had gripped her. She couldn't escape the feeling that something sinister lurked just beyond the cabin walls. It had been a year since Sarah had escaped the confines of an abusive relationship, taking refuge in the remote cabin. She had hoped the solitude and distance from civilization would heal her emotional scars. However, strange occurrences began to torment her. The cabin seemed to whisper secrets to her, its ancient timbers creaking and sighing as if sharing the weight of the forest's dark history. On this fateful night, the whispering shadows seemed particularly malevolent. Sarah's breath hung in the frigid air as she heard a soft, ghostly voice that seemed to emanate from within the walls. It spoke in a language she couldn't comprehend, but the words sent a shiver down her spine. She pulled the covers tighter, as if the thin barrier between her and the outside world could protect her from the unseen terror. In the inky blackness, a faint, flickering light appeared in the corner of her eye. She turned her head slowly and gasped. A lantern, long extinguished, suddenly burst into life with an unnatural, ethereal glow. It illuminated the cabin with an eerie, greenish hue, casting bizarre, dancing shadows on the walls. Sarah stumbled out of bed, her heart pounding. She approached the lantern cautiously, but as she reached out to touch it, a gust of wind blew through the cabin, extinguishing the light, plunging her into total darkness once more. Panic consumed her as the whispers grew louder and more sinister, their tone shifting from melancholy to malevolence. She knew she couldn't stay in this cabin any longer. Grabbing a flashlight, she rushed to the door, only to find it locked from the outside. Trapped. Desperation washed over her, but she couldn't give in to fear. Gathering her courage, she armed herself with a kitchen knife and ventured into the heart of the cabin. The whispers now felt like a cacophony of tormented souls, surrounding her, mocking her, taunting her with fragments of incomprehensible words. The walls themselves seemed to pulse with an ominous energy, closing in on her like a malevolent heartbeat. Sarah's flashlight flickered, casting fleeting glimpses of grotesque, shadowy figures that swirled around her. Each time she blinked, they moved closer, their forms grotesque and twisted, and their eyes empty voids. She knew they were the embodiment of the forest's darkest secrets, ancient spirits seeking retribution. Fighting to keep her sanity, Sarah made her way to the cabin's only window. With all her strength, she shattered the glass and crawled through the jagged hole. The forest outside was an impenetrable wall of darkness. She stumbled blindly into the trees, pursued by the haunting whispers that seemed to emanate from the very woods themselves. Hours passed, and dawn's faint light broke through the trees. The whispers faded, and Sarah found herself standing at the edge of the forest, her mind frayed and her spirit broken. She had escaped, but the horrors she had witnessed would forever haunt her. The cabin and its malevolent shadows remained, undisturbed by the passage of time. The chilling legend of the Whispering Shadows persisted, a dark tale whispered around campfires, warning those who dared to venture deep into the heart of the unforgiving woods.
Subscribe Shadowy Shivers for more horror stories and contents.